Hey everyone and welcome. I am Adam with KN6QGV with Bridgecom Systems, and welcome to another episode of Ask Me Anything. First, we're going to start with our Buddy promotion here. Buddy FRS radio price has changed to $29.99. The Bridgecom Buddy is a perfect handheld for all hobbyists, and then the Buddy is it's the Buddy everyone needs. Whether you are scaling mountains, hiking your local trails, camping, skiing, or just want an activity to bring the family together, these options are endless. These easy-to-use handhelds are fit perfectly in the palm of your hand and have very durable casing. The Buddy comes with a 1-year warranty and does not require a license. Whether you're using the Buddy for amusement or for secondary communications, you will not be disappointed. I'd like to welcome everyone. First off, it's good to see everyone. Thank you. Let's do some shout outs here real quick. We got Bruce, KI5RGY, welcome. We got Jason from Vegas, WV3V, welcome. Kathy, K7DHY, welcome. Roy, KA8BYU, welcome. Hal, KO4WYW, welcome. Rick from Ridgecom, California, AJ6UE, welcome. Good morning to everyone. Good morning, Aaron. Welcome. Fremont, Dick, we got you, W6VS from Fremont, California, out here. Welcome, guys. Wayne from Delaware says hi from K3WHH, welcome. And John from North Carolina, N4EJM, welcome. We got another one, Wayne from California. There it goes, WB6NSO. Phil from Buffalo, New York, N2OSO, welcome. Let's see, Tom, KC3OLP, welcome. Well, looks like we got a lot of people here today. Looks like we're going to get this good day going. We got some questions. Start sending them in. I know we got some good ones ready for you guys. So if we'll start. We can start posting some questions. Local Aries new DMR repeater uses skybridge. What's the difference between Brandmeister and skybridge? You know, the skybridge is actually, I can't answer this question 100% right now. It's the different technologies and the way you can communicate and everything. And let me turn this off. The skybridge, let me see if I could pull this up. Can we come back to that question? I need to find the reference for that so I can explain it better. It's hard to explain. How come the skybridge hotspot on receiving mode shows flags on the screen that do not match the country? That actually is not one of our issues. That actually is an issue with Pi-Star. They actually uploaded those incorrectly. We can notify them and hopefully they can fix that, but that is not an issue from us. That comes directly from them. Hi. Is there a way to print out the handouts often referenced in the BCU classes without having to search through YouTube, especially on the one run? Not currently, but we can add that hopefully. Let me see if we can add that. That is a good question, and that actually is something that should go with, that we can probably add with our videos. That would probably be something good to help you guys. Let me see what we can do on that. My local repeater uses Echolink. I do not use the same talk group numbers as Echolink as Brandmeister. No, with Echolink, it's almost kind of like, you know, DMTF, where you actually have to punch in sometimes, or you have to use reflectors or bridges to get to those. So you'd have to use those talk groups or numbers for the Echolink. There are some bridges that will get you onto Brandmeister, but they are limited. Sounds like someone needs a smoke detector. You can hear that? They're all almost, we just literally went through. They all just started beeping. The last one started beeping today. How do I set up the different modes on the skybridge? Okay. Which mode specifically are you looking to set up? Is there one, or because on the skybridge we have multiple modes right here, like you switch over. DMR, D-Star, YSF, P25. Each one has a little bit of a different configuration. We can enable all these, and I could just show you some of them. It's taking a minute. Actually, that smoke detector doesn't have a battery in it right now. It's just beeping off what residual was in the capacitor. Battery I'm actually going to change after the show. Okay, so as we can see right here, here's the D-Star configuration. You're going to want to select the reflector that you'd want. Now you can look all this information up. The type, oops, the gateways, fusion, you select the host or the reflector you want as well. P25, same thing. Select the reflector that you want to connect to. Put in the NAC as well. NXDN, reflector you're looking to connect to as well. And there. Now you can also come here to the admin page once you have these set up, and you actually can change your reflectors all right here. Radio module, reflector. Here we go for YSF, your reflector, link or unlink. P25, change your reflector, link or unlink the request. And NXDN, same thing. So you could change them all right here. That's a good question. Is anyone else having problems on US International? I'm not hearing anything. Which Brandmeister talk group? Are you talking 3100 or are you talking 91? Because you said US International. So Brandmeister, United States or International? Which one? Worldwide. How do I set up a DMR scan list on the 878578? All right. We're going to come over here. We're going to go to our scan list. Well, first you have to have your channel set up. So as you can see, I have all my channels. So we're going to go to our scan list here. Let me just do one thing. Okay. So we can create a new scan list. This works best. Scan lists work best with analog. Sorry. Let me start by saying this. Scan lists work best with analog. Digital, you usually have to have a keyed up talk group or something, or a static talk group to be able to hear those on repeaters, normally without keying up. However, if they aren't, then you'd have to key it up. So it doesn't work as efficiently with DMR. I will show you how to do it, but it is not as effective. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to grab my LA Brandmeister, 3 of them, and we can set that. If I wanted one to be a priority channel, we could set these. Priority channel 1, select 1 or select 2 or select both. We could set them, but I don't need a priority channel, and I'm going to call this LA Brandmeister. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come back over to channels, come over here, and we're going to set the scan list to be that one I just selected. Once it's selected, you can actually write to the radio, select all of them all the way down, write to the radio, and then when you go to your, let me actually go to that zone. So I'm in the zone. This is the pre-existing zone I have for it. So if we go menu, We come down to scan on. You'll see it starts to scan them. Now, there are usually in LA some active ones. One other thing we can do, Digimonitor, to hear all the talk groups that were not selected on, in case there is one as well going through. So that's two features right there that will help you with that. Now, there isn't, because it is early where I'm at in LA, there isn't much activity right now. So you won't be hearing much activity on there. And because no one's really probably keyed up anything, there probably nothing is set right now, because those aren't static. They are all dynamic talk groups on those repeaters. Is anyone else having problems on US? Oh, wait, no. US, oh, 3100. Okay. Let me go to my hotspot, nationwide. For some reason, my hotspot's not being found. All right. Go down to Brandmeister, 31 National, select. Next question. We're going to leave mine on 3100 here listening. So in case. Can you guys hear me? Test. The Bluetooth mic, we're not exactly sure on when it's coming out. Okay, the Bluetooth mic, we're not actually sure. We're hoping it's going to be out in fall of 2022 at the end of the year here. We are pushing for it sooner. We're trying to get it done. However, we do have a surprise coming out in the next coming weeks. We will have a actual prototype here on both mine, and we're going to have one also on the Wednesday show with Jason, showing you guys the actual mic being used and actually here in our hands in studio, so you guys will actually be able to see it. So we will give you that sneak peek coming here. You hear worldwide on US Skytown. Okay, so there might be an issue with certain things pushing through. We can look into that. I can look into that here in a minute, see if we can figure out a solution. Oh, why here why here worldwide when on US Skytone? Can you be a little more specific? Why here? Well, the skybridge boot from a USB device if you don't have the SD card installed. You know, it's a possibility. You'd have to set up the system that way to be working like that. Linux can boot off of USB drives. It is not recommended because those USB sticks can actually get damaged in there. They could damage the ports. They could damage the drives. They could get knocked out. There's other reasons. So it's always better to use an SD card because it's a lot less chance of getting damaged in the thing. And it's probably also going to be faster. Hello, Mike. How to manually program a simplex channel into 878. Okay. Oh, we just got something on 3100. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to come down here to the bottom of my list. If you guys want to switch to my screen. Do you have a specific simplex channel that you want to program, or there is no specific one? And are you trying to do analog or digital? Because I could show you right here. Technically, this APRS receive channel is set up like a simplex, even though it should be push to talk prohibit, because you are only receiving APRS on those channels. And this should actually be off. So simplex channel would just be simply like this, 25 or 12.5, depending on the frequencies you're using. And it's very simple. If you want to do a digital one on simplex, we'll come to the digital APRS thing here. Same thing, digital. Now, there are multiple ways we could do this. You could do this straight simplex. We have it set to repeater when you connect to a hotspot, but you can also use these two options right here, DC-DM double slot and DC-DM time slot split. That was a tongue twister. These are for more direct connections and other things, and allows for more duplex communications between direct connections between people. When traveling cross-country, is there a way, software to load repeaters you can access along the way? You'd have to manually load all the repeaters. There are a few sites I can show you right here if you'd like to get some repeaters. We got repeaterbook.com. This is one you can search. We also got video reference. So both of these are good. These have an amateur database you can look up for locations. So let's go to the frequency database. We can do a quick search. Damn it, I want to Los Angeles. Here we go. Here's all the amateur radio frequencies for the local area. So you just go to where you're trying to go, and you can find all these informations. So that's one place. You also got Repeater Book. We can come over here, North American repeaters. Select the state. And you can select the type of repeater you want, all of that DMR specifically. And here you go. Now, some of these on these, you'll notice this one doesn't have it, but they'll show you what talk groups you can use. Those will be specific to what talk groups they have set up on those repeaters. So if you want to use those talk groups, then you have to use them how they say it, because they might say, oh, you can only use these on time slot 2, these on time slot 1, or anything can be on time slot 1 and only these on time slot 2. They have sometimes strict requirements. So make sure you check with these repeaters and all of that. What they have set. So this one actually just says Brandmeister. It's open and has no other restrictions realistically right here. So these are how you'll be able to find some of the repeaters across the way when you're traveling. How to manually program a simple. We already did that one. Oh, from the HT. Okay. We can switch back to my video. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go menu. Well, actually, let's go to a VFO channel. What I like to do is I go to the VFO channel that I want to use. So we'll just say this is it. We're going to go to menu. I'm sorry, I'm doing this backwards, so hopefully I get this. Settings, channel set, new channel. So it's going to go automatically to your next available number. Let's give it a name. So we'll just call this test. It's going to ask us what zone we want to put it into. So let me just select the zone real quick. I'll put it in my hotspot zone. Confirm to save. Oops. Channel saving. Now you can also go in there and change the channel type, the TCDT, the receive, the send and receive tone, optional signaling for receive, TX power, offset, squelch mode, bandwidth, reverse. Reverse would be used mostly with like Kenwood and stuff like that. RX frequency, TX frequency, talk around if you want that enabled, the name of the channel. All that's set here. And if you're going digital, you can select the radio ID and all that. But this is set to an analog channel right now, so I would just change channel type here. Oops. To digital. And you'll notice, oops, back. Sorry, trying to do this backwards. You'll notice some of these change now. Like here's radio ID, color code, time slot, digital encryption. And that'll change it all for the channel. Now let me go back. There's the channel we just created. No, I didn't actually set that to a frequency for where we can actually test it, but that would be the way you set it up. Can I connect the skybridge to the Anytone 578? Yes, you can actually connect any radio realistically. That's one of the digital capabilities that we saw. One of these that has one of these features. If we go back to my screen here. So if we have one of these, D-Star YSF, DMR, P25, NXDN, all those are able to connect to your hotspot. So you just have to configure it properly and go from there. Just make sure you set the frequencies. How can I print out what's on my code plug? There is no real way to print what's out in your CPS software. However, if you wanted to, you can export all of that data doing tools. Here, let's actually switch over. I'm already there. Let me pull up one of these. What we can do is we could come here and we can go tools to export, and you can export all. And you could print out the CSV files. That would be the closest thing that you can do realistically to printing out your code plug, but there is no actual print for code plugs. So you can't scan digital channels. You can, it's just going to be very difficult. So now if we come back over to my screen here, I'm actually going to go over to Brandmeister. I'm going to show you on the back end here. Okay, so what we could do is I could put in static talk groups. So I could do, let's do 3100 here. I could do 91. I want California. 93. So now, as you see, these are static talk groups. These will automatically be pushed if I come over to my hotspot. I got a lot going on over here, but now you can see these static talk groups right here. So these are going to be coming through and being pushed whenever there's traffic on those talk groups. It's going to come through to my hotspot. And if I had a scan going and my hotspot was one of them, or I had multiple hotspots, or repeaters are set up the same way. If they set up their repeater with these static talk groups, you'll be able to hear these if you're on that channel. If you set up Digimon, if I'm going to go back here. So as you see, I have it set to a button on the side where Digimon's double slot, as you saw that. Let's see, here we go. Digimon off, Digimon single slot, Digimon dual slot. So when I'm on a digital channel, you'll notice the speaker up here with the 2 lines. That means I'm on both time slots. And if there is any traffic coming in, it'll automatically come to the radio. So if you scan that channel and it has traffic, you'll hear it. Digital scan does not work the greatest, but it does work. It's just not the greatest feature out there. They have to work on that a little bit. Always confused between zone 1 and zone 2 and why you have both on at the same time. Zone 1 and zone 2, think of zones as groups of channels. Now, sometimes people want to have a group of channel on one subset and they listen on a second subset. So more specifically here, I'll turn on my radio. It's just because it keeps beeping right now because I'm doing some testing on something. It keeps saying repeater not found. And just hearing that beep every 2 seconds is really annoying. So I just keep turning off my radio. Now, if you look here, I'll just switch networks so it doesn't beep on us. So if you look here, I have right now BCNet connected to the hotspot. And then down here, I have LA CERT 08. So I don't talk on this channel ever. This is our dispatch channel, technically, in our repeater for emergencies. So we hear things come through in our area for community emergency response teams through these channels. This up here would be the channel I'm talking on. So I always this is one of the reasons why I have 2 zones. I always listen to my secondary zone here. Some people do it for weather and they have weather alert on. So they'll have the second channel or second zone set to the NOAA channels. And they'll listen to those, or they'll have it set to alert. So only the audio comes through when they get a severe weather alert or something. That would be the reason to have the 2 zones running at the same time. That's just one of many reasons. Is there a difference between any HT microphones? Yeah, there are differences between all of them, and not all of them are compatible with all the different handhelds. When you go to these handy talkies, ours uses the Kenwood here, or also known as the K connector. That is a common one that is used with us, so we actually use those connectors. However, not all handheld mics are actually the same. We actually, I'm trying to see, I think I have it right here. We have a pretty good one, and I use it actually every day with mine when I'm out and about. I really like ours. We have a great quality with it. It has a, good audio quality, great mic, gain. People say I sound very clear on it. So there are differences. I have used one of those competition ones. I'm not going to name the competition. And their mic was just not comparable. So a lot of people said, oh, you sound distorted, you sound muffled. There's a lot of different things. There are differences. So there are differences between the external mics that you can use. Having trouble downloading and using the programming software. Okay. You can come to my screen. What we're going to do is I'm going to actually pull up our support site. I'm going to walk you through the process of downloading all of that. Now, depending on the version radio you have, now this one is a version 1. My version 2 will actually be here tomorrow, finally. I'm excited. So just like a lot of you guys, I know we get a lot of tickets in. Oh, when's it coming? When's it coming? It's the shipping providers. I'm in the same boat as you. I work with these guys. I love the products, but just so you guys know, it's the shipping providers do take their time and everything. We try and get the products out to you as quick as possible. Sometimes there is a little bit of a delay, and especially with the holidays and all of that and other things, it can add some more delays to it. So, you know, I put my order in like a beginning of last week or the week before that, and I'm just getting it tomorrow. So, you know, we're all in the same boat. But now if you're having trouble, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you choose the right software for the right radio you have. As this being a version 1, I'm going to want to go see all articles. Now on the left-hand side here, we actually have our Anytone 878V2, the 578V2, then we have the 878V1, the 578V1, and you would select the appropriate one. So since I have this one, I would come here and select the CPS, and I would download the current version. Now for you guys that have version 2, the new one, which is what I will be getting here tomorrow, we're going to click on up here, and right here is the newest version. Now what you're going to do is you're going to download these to your downloads folder, and then you're going to want to extract the zip folder. So let me go to our downloads. And I got a lot of stuff in here. Here we go, 878.205. Okay. So what we're going to do is you're going to come here to the CPS, and we're going to run this. It's going to ask for admin privileges. Now I'm not going to fully install this because it is already installed. Let me move this over so you guys can see this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a desktop shortcut and click install. This one actually didn't even ask me where to install. It's just going to do it. So you install it. I already have it installed. So as you can see, it is, which one? This one right here, 205. So once this is installed, what we're going to do is you can actually update your firmware on these radios. What you're going to do is you're going to be a contortionist. You're going to hold the button down on top here and your push to talk. So, and you'll notice the red starts flashing. When you see that, you can let go. You're going to connect it to the computer. We're going to come over to Tools. We're going to go to Firmware and Icon Update. We're going to open up our update file. So what we're going to do is we're going to find, let me go back a little bit. So we're going to find in the downloads, our 205 folder. We're going to open up our firmware. We're going to select this file. Now make sure you guys do select your proper COM port first. And then we're going to click Write to Radio. This will write to the radio, and once it's complete, your radio will reboot. You can turn it off. Then what we're going to do is on the side here, there's 2 buttons right below the push to talk. We're going to push the top one and the bottom one, hold them both down. We're going to turn on the radio. It's going to say booting. Then it's going to go to, hard screen to see. Says, there you go, update mode. If you guys can kind of see that, I'm trying to hit at an angle because of it's just the glare because of the screen. Kind of, there you go, update mode. So when it's in this mode, we're going to go back to firmware. And this time we're going to go back to the main folder, APRS, Bluetooth and APRS, select that, and write that to radio. That's going to be an instant that goes real quick. So once that's done, what we're going to do is, mine's not going to work because I have a password. But once you remove the password, you're going to hold down the first button and the push to talk. Turn on the radio. It'll say booting, please wait. Now, as you see, I have a password, so it won't work. But at this point, it'll say, are you sure you want to confirm? It'll initialize the radio. You hit OK, and that's when you initialize the radio. Now, before you do that, you can actually read from the radio into your CPS and then do that, so you have a backup of your code plug if you don't already have a backup. I can't emphasize enough, always back up your code plug. Every time you make a change, make a new file. Put the date on it. Do something like that so you know which is your most current file. If you don't, it's just going to get confusing, and you're going to go back and, oh, I lost stuff, this and that, and You're not going to know what happens. Best way to always do that. Then write to the radio again. So that way you have the new stuff with the new features and you wipe out any previous problems you may have that you aren't aware of. Some people might experience when they do update that they see the second part goes gone, the second subgroup or subchannel is gone. What you could do at that point is you're going to format the radio again. You're going to export everything. Let's go back to my screen. We're going to go here, File to Export. We're going to export all. Save this. You could just do File List. Save it, and that'll save every single CSV. It'll save a default for all the CSVs. Then you read from the radio after you format it, come back in here and do an import. And this will actually fix any issues you have with that second subchannel not being available on after this update. So you would just come up here, go import file, import that file that we saved, which I didn't actually save it, and that'll import everything back up into the radio, and then you can do a write, and that'll fix that issue. So I know those are a couple issues that people have been having with the CPS and as well, you know, with programming their actual radios. How do I switch from digital to VHF? Channels. Just create the channel separate. If you want an analog VHF, create an analog VHF channel. You want a digital channel, just create a digital channel. I know that they are getting into other ranges, not just UHF with digital. It is being experimented and tested, but don't know all of the legalities on that. Check the band plans and your local frequency coordinators for the guidelines on that. When setting up a new set of channels and using a set of for another repeater, you can copy and paste the block in the CPS. Yes, you can. So if we come over here, these are all repeater channels. So if I just select this one, let me go a little higher. Here we go. So I'm just going to select this one, left click first, just to select that row. I'm going to go copy. I'm going to come down to like let's just come down to this row, paste. Now I can come in here, change whatever I need, the name, the talk group, and whatever else I need, whatever I want, if I want to put on APRS, and then just save the channel. And then I can come down here, do another one, so on and so forth. I just purchased a 578. What is the easiest way to transfer my 878 to the 578? Actually, the same way I just said to fix that. The easiest way would be to go File, to Export, and then Import. You might not be able to do the full list, but you could do each. When you do a full list export, it will export. Here, let me actually pull it up. Each one of these files. Now, let me see if I can get this. I'm actually about to pull up the 578 so you can actually see the difference between the two. Just letting it load. Come on. It's like right there. Do apologize. It is still loading. There we go. So you would import. Do you notice there are a few other things like AM air? That wasn't there before. So you would just import as well, and it'll import it into here. Same thing if you want to go to 578 to the 878. The only issue is make sure when you go to the 578 to the 878, if you do have tri-band on your radio, like as you can see mine is right here, that you remove that range from the ones that you're importing into the 878, because the 878 does not support tri-band mode. There are videos out there of people hacking it and turning it into tri-band mode that will actually damage your radio. Do not do it. I'm going to buy a skybridge for the static settings alone. It's great. I actually love it. The static settings are great because I keep changing it for my streams and everything. All mine gets messed up, but I usually keep all my emergency channels on one time slot, and then I keep the ones I use on time slot 2. So if there's any emergency traffic or family members try to reach me or anyone else that I know for emergency services, they always can get through to me on time slot 1. They'll never be busy on my radio. What antenna do I have on my 878? This one was a custom antenna, as you can see, and it actually separates right here for the difference between UHF and VHF. But I actually do not remember the name of this antenna. I found it online somewhere, got the guy to pre-tune it for the frequencies that I like, and he sent it to me, and that was it. I really don't remember which one it is, but on my new radio, I have the Nagoya 771 for my amateur use and 701 for the commercial use. So that is the new antenna I am going to be using. How do you know if you have a V1 or a V2? You can actually go into, there's a couple ways. First off, there's always the back here behind your radio. As you can see, this one says right here, 878U, whoops, this way, 878 UV plus, no UV2. On the UV2, you'll see UVII plus. So that's how you'll know if you have a version 1 or 2 from the back. The other way is, and since it boots up, is that you will see in your radio, what we'll do is we're going to go menu, settings. Let me go do it here on the screen. There we go. There's settings. There we go. Settings, device info. Right there, you'll see the model name. And then you'll also see the firmware version. See how this says 1.27? So that's a version 1. If that had 2.05 or 2.04, 202, it's going to be a version 2. And you can also see right here, hardware version 1. If you see hardware version 1.1, that is a version 2 radio as well. So anything with hardware version 1.1 would be version 2. That's a couple ways to see it. Might have to look into getting an 878 as a handheld. It's an amazing radio. A lot of people, say it is the Cadillac of radios. It has almost all the features that, I wish we had a promo right now. It has a lot of features that all amateurs, a lot of amateur radio operators want and need. Over all my radios I have a long list of radios, there we go. I have a handful of radios. The 878 is actually my favorite. And now with the new updated $500,000 500,000 contact list, APRS receive, digital voice recording, and more, this actually is an amazing radio that I can't wait to have. I'm very looking forward to my radio tomorrow, and it actually is my everyday carry. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but this thing has taken a beating. This thing has been dropped, kicked, you name it. This thing has pretty much even practically been ran over by a car, and it still works. So, there's some pretty durable radios, and I use it a lot out in the field, especially with community emergency response teams. I always have this on me as a secondary radio so I can reach others with amateur or whatever is necessary while we're there. Yes, back up religiously. That is very true. Local Aries new repeater uses skybridge. What's the difference between Brandmeister and skybridge? I actually did not look that up. There are two different networks and the way they communicate. I actually, if you want, can give you a better explanation of that if you want to call me after the show. Give us like a half hour after the show and give us a call, ask for me. I'll be more than happy to sit here and walk you through the whole process. It's actually going to take a little bit because I'd like to fully explain it to you so you understand it fully. There are all the differences and the similarities and other things, as well as, the pros and cons of them. We could do an episode on that possibly here in the future for everyone. It's just, I want to gather my notes, put it all in front of me, and I don't have all that available right now because that's actually an amazing question I was not prepared for. That's the honest truth. You hit me off guard with that one, and I do have notes on that. They're just not here with me right now. Is there a way on the 878 to turn up the gain for the internal microphone? Yes. If we actually can come over to my screen, under optional settings in your CPS, there is actually a volume audio right here. There's a digital mic gain and an analog mic gain. You can turn those both up, as well as the maximum headphone volume for either your Bluetooth or your external mic. So that can also turn up the speaker volume for you. I set mine to 8. The gain doesn't need to be changed too much with our mics. Our mics seem to work very well with it at this level. But some people like them different for, everyone's different for their preferences. I have a small crack in the corner of my 878 display. Can it be fixed, or is it cheaper to buy another radio? Well, it depends. If you're, on whether or not your radio is under warranty, and if it's old enough, if you have like mine, version 1, I'd always say upgrade to version 2. It is worth it. I can't wait to get mine. So, that's how it would be. I would say if it's under warranty, you could probably send it in for repairs. But if it's, out of warranty, I would just buy a new radio. It's worth it. Just keep that as a backup. If it's a small crack and it doesn't affect it too much, great as a backup radio. I'm just going to put this one, as another backup and in my emergency kit. So if I leave here and I don't have a radio on me, boom, I got mine in my emergency kit. Is the 578 APRS more sensitive than the 878 UV2 Plus? Well, again, it has a stronger, I guess on the receive end, they're probably more equivalent. On the transmit end, the 578 would have a stronger transmit power because it is operating at a higher wattage for transmit. For the receive, though, realistically, they are almost equivalent because you're just receiving at the same wattage power that's being sent out by the people. So, depending on the antenna and the gain and other things like that, your SWR, that can all take an effect your sensitivity for receiving APRS. Anything else? I think did we have any other questions, guys, that you guys wanted us to go over? All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about our Bridgecom Plus. We are working on some new things for everyone for bringing out Bridgecom Plus. But Bridgecom Plus is the community what we have that is focused on DMR and ham radio. That has discussions and debates that are free of jerks, and people who don't want to add value to the conversation. It is highly moderated by knowledgeable moderators and our Bridgecom team. You will have a great time in our conversations. We have, as you can see on the screen, 3 different packages. We got our monthly package, our annual package, and our lifetime. The monthly is $15, $14.99 a month. Our annual is $150, and our lifetime right now for an exclusive price of $750. With your monthly membership, you will get a super code plug upon your paid membership. That's a $50 value. 6 months in the community, or if you get our annual or lifetime, you will receive the Ultra Code plug along with that, and that's a $100 value. You will also get free DMR account setup, access to our exclusive Bridgecom Plus communities servers hosted on Discord. Please check in there because we do have great discussions on there. We also have an all access to our Bridgecom University course with version 2 of our training videos right now. And we also have exclusive giveaways for our Bridgecom members, Plus members only. So please be sure to check those out. And I look forward to actually communicating with you guys in those in the future there. Be good to see you guys there. I guess that's it. So we're going to say have a great one. Thank you for checking in, 73, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you.